sometimes people have what it takes, but they haven't recognized it yet. Just go forward. So what do you need to do?
Welcome.
How do you
Hello,
stand
everybody.
out?
So what you need to do is be that person that's different
and it's bigger than you think.
Rise from the ashes and fly like
Today,
phoenixes.
I realize I'm preaching to the choir. I know that you guys and a lot of you guys are here consistently. You've been here for a while, and some of the things I kind of feel like talking about, the people that really need to hear it the most aren't here right now. And that's typically how it works out. But I'm hoping that the message that I have, the thoughts that I'm going to share, will in one way or another kind of spark some type of interest, some type of thought, light a little bit of fire under your ass and keep you moving a little bit more. For those of you that are already working, then maybe it just pushes that forward that much faster. For those of you that maybe have allowed things to slip a little bit because life gets in the way, that's okay. So now's the time to get back on your horse, as it were. I wanted to talk, yesterday we were talking about success. And so I want to talk a little bit about that and talk a little bit about these equations, but I want to share some real world examples. I'm not going to name any names. I'm going to talk about people that I've worked with consistently over the course of the last 4 or 5 years of coaching and business coaching. And, I'm going to talk about people that I've worked with different courses type of things like this, but also clients I've had where, they were hiring us to do their search engine optimization, their digital marketing, build out websites, all sorts of different stuff. Right. It's always interesting to me when we decide on a goal and we decide on a course for success, and then certain things we allow to get in our way. And more often than not, it's what we allow to get in our way that sidetracks us versus what actually pops up. I'd say there's fewer real obstacles that keep you from success when compared to those that we manufacture ourselves. And so I want to talk a little bit about success, but I'm going to share with you some stories and, like I said, not naming any names. So if anything hits home, the way I typically tell these guys, by the way, you ever seen an author when they create a character and it's really this amalgamation of 3 or 4 people that they may have known, and they kind of mix those stories together to create one individual? So there may or may not be some of that going on. So if you hear certain examples and they prick a little bit at your heart, hopefully it's not you specifically that I'm talking to. And most of you guys on this call, that it's not. I'll just tell you that. But if it does in any way, then connect with it and go, why am I feeling this right now? And I promise that part of the reason I'm sharing this is not just because I've worked with some people recently that have left me frustrated, but because there have been moments where I'm frustrated with myself. When are the moments when you really need to understand success? When are the moments that you really need to understand how to overcome obstacles? It's when you're reaching for success and those obstacles arise. Right? I've heard a great saying that I absolutely love. I love when all hell breaks loose, because then I know the blessings are around the corner. The problem with that is you've got to get through it in order to get to the blessings. The bigger problem is that most of us stand in the middle of the hell that's breaking loose and go, God damn it, there's hell breaking loose and this sucks. And I don't like it. And I'm frustrated and I'm stressed and it's not supposed to be like this. Where are my blessings? And we just stand there in the middle of the storm going, I'm getting wet. I hate getting wet. Why am I getting wet? Why is the hurricane beating down on me right now? When really all you need to do is walk a little bit further and either get indoors or get to the other side of the storm. Understanding success means that you understand that these trials are going to come about. And it's in the power in identifying when those moments come up and being able to look at it and say, how am I dealing with the situation? What am I doing, in the face of these obstacles? What is it that I'm about to break through? And where am I looking to get to? What are the problems that I'm facing, right? My favorite book, The Big Leap, go read it, right? These upper limit problems, the things that we put in our own pathway that oftentimes keep us from breaking through to that potential. So I want to share a little bit about some of these success equations. I'm going to give you a few examples. I'm going to point to a couple of different books. I'm going to review the equation that I put up there yesterday. Everybody give me a raise hand. Everyone can see my screen. Yes. At this point, I really don't need to ask. I do it just to get a little bit of, movement from you guys. I've been doing this for 5 years. I know when my screen is showing, but I want to make sure you guys are participating. So here we go. Equations for Success. Great book here is called The Formula by Albert Laszlo Barabasi. the universal laws of success here. So equation number one, he says success, S equals QR. Now, R is the potential of a given idea multiplied by Q. And this is the person's ability to execute on the idea. I don't know why they picked R instead of I. I don't know why they picked Q instead of A, being an ability. People like to get fancy. So they put S equals Q times R. So it equals the potential value of an idea multiplied by the ability of a person to execute. So pretty simple equation. So the Q factor, that's a combination of the person's innate talent and skill. So if you have a low Q factor, low talent and skill and a great idea, it's going to be a mediocre result. High Q factor, meaning great talent, great skill, crappy idea, mediocre result. So to have success, you need a higher skill or talent and then the right kind of idea. Here's another example of one. This is all I did is Google some equations for success, and there's some very interesting articles. I'm going to share with you mine here in a second again, but I really recommend you either adapt a version of mine or you create your own. But figure out what success means to you, and then you can figure out that equation. So success equals, and you define whatever success is, right? Because you have to have some type of value on that side of the equation. Everybody understands that, right? We'll get into math. You know, you talk about abstract math here. So then we have the right thought. So it turns into an idea with a positive assessment. We assess that in a good, positive way. We turn that into goals. We have actions that follow the goals. We do that daily. We reflect on it, see how far we've come. We add in perseverance. And as long as we see it through, then success will follow. That's what that's saying. I think there's some stuff missing here. I think there's stuff missing in this one. And so I've kind of created my own. This is my equation. Again, time, effort, expertise, investment, passion, focus. This resistance and distractions. This is where the issues come up. Because we create the resistance, we create the distractions. Here's a couple of quick examples. So let's see. Actually, I was just answering. Okay, so the biggest obstacle that people often give me, there's a couple of different things. Tech, money, time, right? The biggest reason that people start this is because they want to work less, they want more time, they want more money. Explain to me, and this is a rhetorical question because you can't. How many times does someone set a goal where they want more time, they want less effort, they want more money, and then their biggest obstacle to achieve that is, well, I don't have the time, I'm not willing to put in the effort, and I don't have the money. So I need to figure out how to overcome that stuff. That's like saying, well, I want to lose weight and I want to be in better shape, but I don't want to go to the gym because I'm not in shape, and I really enjoy eating that pizza and those tacos. You can't have it both ways. You can't use your goals as your excuse not to follow through. That's creating that resistance and distraction. So I had someone recently that said that one of their biggest obstacles was tech. And so we started talking and I started to get into it. And then they said, well, I would do this and I would go with, and look, guys, I'm not doing this to try and push. There's no right or wrong way to build this out. If you want to do it, if you want to hire somebody else, if you want to do the accelerator, whatever, we've had people do it and do it well. Any pathway you go, it's what fits best for you. But they were talking about, well, I don't have money to invest with this, and that. And I'm, well, but we're talking about your tech issues over here, right? So we're not talking about money. Now we're pulling up different obstacles just because I want to come up with obstacles as to why I'm not succeeding. Because damn it, if Catalina hit $500 or someone else hit this much, then that means that I can too, really. And my excuses are kind of pointless. But so we went round and round, and turns out it was taking too long. But when it boiled down to it and through a few more questions, come to find out they hadn't really put any time into it at all. And it was taking a long time because they were scared of the tech, because they hadn't done things in the past. And they were scared of it because they hadn't even tried it, because they allowed themselves to get overwhelmed before they even walk into the situation. And a lot of times that happens. So then the question was, well, what is it that you actually wanted to achieve? What is your definition of success in this instance, right? You guys, you're creating your equation. How do you want to define success? Now, here's an issue that comes up a lot of times when we create this equation for ourselves is we come up with this idea of success. I am all for, I've done trainings on visualization, affirmations, and having those big, dumb goals. You need those sometimes. You need that to get you going, right? That's the big sexy thing that gets you out of bed to deal with the headaches. But guys, if you throw a dumb goal out there that's so far out there, you can't even really visualize it. You can't think of it. You can't imagine yourself doing it because you haven't figured out your own value and your own worth yet, then that goal isn't going to drive you. It's just going to scare you. You're going to throw it away and go, that's not me. So if you just right off the bat go, well, my goal is millions of dollars. And then, okay, can you imagine that? Like if the most you've been earning consistently is 2,500 or $5,000 or 10 grand a month, well, then millions right off the bat, you might not be able to place yourself in a position to be able to visualize that, to be able to figure out the rest of the equation. So when it boils down to how much you actually need, right? And there's levels, right? I always talk about that. There's the big dumb goal that's further down there. And then you have the benchmarks along the way to get there. But it's important to understand where those benchmarks are. And so I'm going to sit and I'm going to evaluate it. And I'm going to go, okay, well, this is what I want. And I want that because I'm uncomfortable with where I'm at. I'm not earning enough. I'm not doing enough, paying bills or paying this or inability to travel or stuck with my family when really I want to be able to go away for a little bit, or stuck hearing my family complain and I want to take them somewhere, or being able to wake up in the morning and know that there's money in my bank account instead of being, empty, or looking at the money that's generating in a way that's going to set me up for retirement. Whatever that goal is, there's going to be an uncomfortable growth pattern. Learning the tech may not be super easy. Posting consistently, like Catalina is talking about, on all these different platforms, I promise you it hasn't been comfortable for her over the course of the last few weeks. She struggled. And then she put herself out there. She popped on a hot seat and allowed us to just kind of tear apart what she was doing. And she had to redo all of it. And yet she's done it in an uncomfortable way. Again, I guarantee it wasn't easy. It wasn't comfortable, but she's done it and starting to get some results. And it's just the beginning. There's more to go. There's going to be more uncomfortable scenarios and more work to do. And she's going to do it. Right? She wouldn't be much of a life and empowerment and light coach that helps people raise their, frequency if she wasn't willing to be uncomfortable herself. And so she's doing it. So the question is where you are right now, what you're dealing with right now, are you uncomfortable enough that you're willing to be a little uncomfortable to build out the business, to go through that process? Or is that so scary and so big that what you're dealing with now is easier for you and you're willing to just sit there? Now, the immediate response is most people saying, no, I'm uncomfortable. I'm willing to take on that, that discomfort. I'm going to do it because I don't want to stay here. I want to get there. But we are so used to falling back and being complacent and sitting on our ass and waiting for the world to change and complaining about everything else that we just don't do it. So ultimately, guys, it's in your hands. That to me is the most exciting thing. And I share this because right now I'm in one of those growth phases. I'm in, the upper limits. I'm in the process of breaking through to some new upper limits. And that excites me and it scares the hell out of me at the same time. And there's big things happening and I'm looking at it and I'm going, holy crap, if a couple of these things fall into place, and it's not a question of if they're going to fall into place, it's if I'm going to be willing to sit down and do the work that I need to do to get myself in that position, right? I've talked about it before. I don't enjoy doing certain elements of the website building and custom graphics and everything. So I've got my guy doing that and I'm rewriting copy, but I've decided I'm going to buckle down. Yeah, I've got a big trip coming up that I've talked about. We've got stuff happening. But I've got business opportunities that right now, if I just kind of cruise by in the way I've been going, I'll still make more than I used to make in, anything else I've ever done, and I'll be fine. But damn it, if there isn't an opportunity to do a hell of a lot more and take things a lot further and do something bigger than I ever truly imagined, honestly. But that's only going to happen by sitting down and making it happen. So despite my own ADHD and my own level of discomfort, and I'm not saying this in any way to toot my horn. What I'm trying to show is that even if you're frustrated and you don't like doing certain things, you can get it done if you're uncomfortable enough with where you're at. and you want bad enough for that success, however you define it, to become a reality. So over the course of the last week, I've written an ebook on search engine optimization, which means I had to study the hell out of it. But so 57 different pages on search engine optimization. I put that together. I've written the copy that's going to go on a funnel. I've got that almost completely done. I've written out what the course for search engine optimization is going to be. Guess what? I'm not the SEO expert. I'm doing this connected with a guy that is the SEO expert. He's going to film the course, but I put it together in the way that I know people need, and it needs to be delivered in a way that they're going to get enough out of it, still be able to learn, get the value they need, and he can deliver and deliver that value. But I'm putting together the outline for that course. He's going to have to film it. But that means I'm building out that funnel, right? We're putting together all of those products. And on the back end, it's going to be, instead of the regular DFY, it's the same process that you guys are going through with the social media lead machine. We're just doing it SEO style, teaching people how to do Google and stuff with their pages. And then on the back end, instead of saying, hey, you can go do the SEO yourself, or hey, we can do it for you, right? It's the exact same funnel. It's just SEO instead of social media lead machine. So do you think I'm using some of the stuff that we've already got? Do you think I'm using some of the DFY templates? Damn right I am, because there's no reason to, reinvent the wheel, as it were. But I don't like doing this stuff. I like talking, which I'm fairly good at most of the time. I like the strategies. I like the, conversations of what we're going to be developing later on. I like some of the partnerships that I'm doing, but damn it, if this isn't an opportunity to do something bigger and open up other doors, so I'm going to do it. And you guys are all in that same situation, guys. You all have the tools that you need. I don't care if you're uncomfortable. I don't care if you want to tell me that, hey, tech is difficult. Well, you know what? I can pull a half dozen off you right now that every single one of you told me tech was too difficult for you and you couldn't do it. And you know what? Any one of them would be able to tell you that they're getting it done, right? So I want to tell you, your excuse is real. But the great thing is we're not all, sunflowers here and snowflakes. And I can tell you it's invalid. Get over it and get it done. Okay. That's really what it's all about. So on that note, I'm going to give you guys, again, I dropped this in there in the Skype group the other day. This is my equation for success. Some of these things are variables: the time, the effort, the expertise, the investment, the passion, the focus. If I didn't have the expertise, I'm gaining enough expertise with this to be able to do the basics, but I'm bringing in the real expert to do the shit that really matters. I'm not trying to learn everything, because then I'd be here for months, and I want this turned around, right? And just to prove I think I've got it still up. Right? There you go. SEO course funnel. Let me pull this back up here just to kind of show you. I'm using, if you guys are familiar with what this looks like, right? Same thing. You guys are used to it, right? I'm using the same thing. Now I'm going to change the video in here. We're going to redo it. I'm not going to use testimonials because we don't have, actually, we can get some testimonials from clients. But see, look, unlimited clients through SEO. Like, I'm not just talking and making things up. I'm actually going through this and doing it. You guys, so again, learn it, put in the time and effort, invest either time, money, effort. Like, there's things that you can invest. The resistance and distraction, guys, in this case, are 100% self-inflicted. If I allow resistance and distractions to get in the way, it's because of my own BS. So I'm removing those obstacles. Okay. Here's some excuses. If you're used to telling yourself any of these phrases, then understand it's just you creating that. It's too hard. I'm just not sure where to start. Oh, my finances aren't in order. I will, but my family just needs me right now. I got too much going on in life. I'm too old. I'm too tired. I'm not enough. I'm too much. I'm worth more than this. If you're uncomfortable enough in the situation you're in, you'll change it. If the goal that you have is real enough, you'll overcome the excuses. And that's what it boils down to. Every single one of you is capable of it. You just need to keep yourself pushing forward. The success book, I'll give you the slides, Janine. The one that I posted there is Albert Laszlo Barbasi. Here's what the thing is, though, guys. It's all up to you. We've all got our own obstacles. We all got our own resistance. We've all got it. But the potential that you have is beyond what many of you realize. Time to just get to work. On that note, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna step down off my soapbox. Like I said, I know most of you guys are just there, as part of the choir anyway. Hopefully something that was said today kind of kicks you a bit in the ass. Let's get everybody going. And I will share with you guys some of the training that I put together for the SEO, but I'm also doing this for a client or a partner, right? So he is paying for it. So technically that intellectual property, a lot of it's going to be his. Although I am doing it as a joint venture, so everything that he sells, I'm going to get a piece of because I'm going to host the funnel. So, I get my upfront for putting it together, and then I get a piece on the back end, right? There's ways to make money on this, ladies and gentlemen. You just need to do the work. I'm not the SEO expert, but I can figure out enough to put together an ebook and then say, hey, go film this stuff for us, will you? And then he will, and then we'll get it going. My point again, guys, I'll share what I can. And then if you want more, you'd have to buy the full course just because.
And sometimes people have what it takes, but they haven't recognized it yet.
Just go forward.
Get out. So what do you need to do? How do you stand out?
So what you need to do is be that person that's different.
And it's bigger than you think.
Great day party.
Rise from the ashes and fly like the phoenixes that you are.
Have a good one.